Welcome to Subramani. This video or maybe next 2-3 videos is meant for the financial advisor or the doctor. What is the connection? You will see it very quickly. So normally whenever I go to do training, there is one complaint saying well, the client doesn't listen to us. So that is a very frequent complaint, that the client does not listen to us. So if I were a very young trainer, I would have said, oh my God, what can be done? Let us do some corrective action. But I was pretty blunt, and I said, do you listen to your parents? He was a young guy, maybe about 24, 25. I said, do you listen to your parents? And he said, sometimes. I said, that's exactly what happens even for clients and advisors. So I told him that when your parents tell you something, you listen to it if it's convenient, and if it's inconvenient, you ignore it. So he smiled and he said, yes, that's true. So all of us, when we need to blame somebody, we say, oh, I did engineering because my father told me to do engineering. I married this girl because my mother chose her, or any of those things. Lifelong, you can't be giving excuses. You have to take your own decisions. So what happens is, when an advisor gives advice, the client weighs that advice and says, is it good for me? Is it worthwhile? Is he or she giving me this advice for his or her own benefit? Are they trying to sell me a product? And today, thanks to social media, there is no trust, right? People search through Google and they go to a doctor. They search through Google before they look at a product, right? So unless you have established a very high level of trust, it is very difficult for the client also to like what you're saying and implement what you're saying. This reminds me of a small story told to the people by Mr. of Kanchi Shankaracharya, who used to be called Jagat Guru. Somebody came and asked him and said, so many people come and ask you for advice, and you say live simply, don't take dowry, don't wear silk saris, etc. But people don't listen to you. So don't you get angry on those people? And he said, just go back in time, go back to the rishis who were living, right? So when a tiger walked into a rishi's ashram, the tap or the penance that the rishi had done was so great that the tiger would calm down and the tiger would not attack. So the tiger and deer and hare and rabbits and all could live in the same place, simply because of the power of that man's prayer, right? So Shankaracharya said, maybe I don't have that quality, so people don't listen to me. So he was taking the blame himself, saying, I am not able to convince people that they should listen to me. Now, coming to think of it as an IFA or as an MFD, if you have a client who is not listening to you, the question is he your client? Should he be your client? If he is a client who is interested only in F&O or in real estate, and you are selling dull, boring SIPs, is he your client at all? Maybe he is not your client. So just say goodbye. Don't try to own every client. Not every client is going to listen, and a client who listens to 70% is good. I have had this talk with many doctors. Not every patient who walks into a doctor's room is going to become a permanent patient, right? A client comes, pays X amount for consulting, comes, consults and goes away, and then does not take advice at all. That's fine. That's a one-time relationship. It's perfectly fine to have one-time relationships like this. Second, it is possible that the person comes, listens, takes the advice, charts, and then halfway through gives up, right? That's also possible, right? So somewhere one person is receiving lot of conflicting advice. Somebody saying, oh, your advisor recommended regular plans. I knew this would happen, right? Or say he did not ask you to buy real estate, right? Or if you're a doctor, he did not ask you to invest in your clinic or in your practice, right? So, well, that's not his job. The investment advisor is not going to advise a doctor to invest in his practice. He has no clue how the practice goes on. That is for you. It's your, the main reason or the main way from where you're earning money is where you have to be an expert. So if you're a great orthopedic surgeon, whether you should have one clinic, whether you should have 4 people reporting to you, what you should do with your time is not within the purview of your financial advisor. Financial advisor should talk about money. Once you do that, chances are client will listen to you. But one common problem which doctors and financial advisors and chartered accountants have is clients who come, understand or think that they understand but implement it wrong. American research shows about 1.5 lakh people, 1,25,000 to 1,50,000 people die every year because they did not take the medication the way it was supposed to be taken, right? This is very difficult to understand, but if you have been ever a financial advisor, or if you have got financial advice and not implemented it in full, or did not trust the financial advisor in full, then it's a complete waste of time for both of you. How should a financial advisor make sure that the client is listening to him, or how should a doctor make sure that the client has listened to him, understood it and is implementing it correctly, is a big challenge for everybody, both the professions, financial advisory and health advisory. I mean, medicine is health advisory, right? So implementing is a big challenge. So either A, you blame the client and say, oh, client is an idiot, he doesn't understand, or you take the blame and say, like Shankaracharya did, take the blame and say, maybe I should improve my communication skills. Thank you. When welcome to Subramani. When clients or potential clients come, listen and take the advice but don't implement it correctly or fully, it means 2-3 things. One, he or she may not be ready for financial advice. So why did that person come and meet you? Because her sister, brother, husband, boss, somebody said you must go and meet this guy, he's very good, he gives good financial advice, or she gives good financial advice. So that person came to meet you and you are a financial advisor. Then something was lost within the first 30 seconds. Maybe that person says, all this gyan I know I should earn well, save money, invest that money, sit tight during time. All this I know. The question is not whether you know. The question is whether you are doing it. The gap between knowing and implementing, that's the knowledge gap. That is what the advisor can hopefully fill up. First of all, the advisor can give some gyan on something which you do not know, and second, try to bridge the gap saying, look, you have to start your SIP today. You are earning 50,000 rupees per month, you can save 10,000 rupees. You are earning 1 lakh per month, you can save 15,000, you can save 20,000, 30,000, depends on depending on your expenses, etc. This is what you should do, and you should do it now. There is an incentive for the advisor for you to implement it quickly, but believe me, the advice, if it is good advice, it is your loss if you delay the implementation. But maybe you are not ready, maybe you want to do crypto and the advisor is saying, I don't understand crypto, so don't do crypto. I want to invest in real estate. No, real estate is too risky and it is not giving any good return, so don't invest in real estate. I want to invest in direct equity. Well, you don't have the time and the capability to do it, so please invest in mutual funds. So unfortunately or fortunately, if this is how the transaction goes, or if this is how the conversation goes, the chances are that client may not be fully engaged. To get the client to be fully engaged is a huge challenge. So first, I think makes sense to ask the client what are the things that he gets scared about in finance, right? What are the 5 scary things about finance? So maybe early, if he's 32, wife is pregnant, he's got a kid, it could be early death. What if I die and what happens to my family? So it could be early death. And if he's 65 years of age, it could be, will my money last till I live, right? Will my money outlive me, right? That could be. So everybody could have a fear. So if you can talk to him or her about their fears, maybe that's a good place to start.